Harsh will start the meeting.
So I need to start, right? Okay. So, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the joint meeting of Turning Point and Spearhead Toastmasters Club. I am Harshal Agrawal, your Sergeant at Arms for today, and I hope everyone is excited for an amazing Toastmasters session. Let me set few ground rules before we go ahead. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. You are now inside the code of conduct of a Toastmaster meeting. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and that it may not be possible to pause the recording. The following are the meeting rules. For audience, please advise that any behavior that disturbs the flow of the meeting will result in removal from the meeting without any warning. Please ensure that your noise-making devices are either switched off or on silent mode. Please speak responsibly on religion, sex, politics in your speeches. As far as possible, keep your videos on, audio off, and applause following throughout. Be the kind of audience for others you would like to have for yourself. Okay. Role player, team or TTM GE, please ensure a smart audio video check before handing over to respective role players. Role players, please rename yourself as role player, and I think that has already been done. Please acquaint yourself with the role of timer. I'm being the timer. I'll show you all the changes in the color, etc. as per whenever you are reaching your time limits. And we encourage you to use Zoom emoticons generously to encourage role players. We sincerely request you not to send any chat message to everyone or the speaker on stage. In fact, refrain from chatting altogether and focus on the speaker. Reiterating, please stay mute until specifically requested to unmute. Polls will be launched after each section and they will be closed after 30 seconds. Now I would like to introduce the presiding officer, Ragini. Over to you, Ragini.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harshal. So I welcome you all to the joint meeting of Spearhead and Turning Point Toastmasters Club. Long awaited, once again, our united passion and energy has helped us to come together as one. So thank you to all the role players and the members of both the clubs. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of guests present inside the forum today for adding extra spark to our meetings, commencing with Tanishk Gupta, Vishali. That is it for now. Thank you. So have you all watched the Salman Khan's movie Kick? Anyone? Okay, I'll tell you a short synopsis about it. It's about a man who cannot stay put as he is addicted to going on new adventures, breaks up with his close ones to pursue an ambition which gives him a vibe or satisfaction or kick, as he calls it. Similarly, I remember years ago while I was in school, class 11, they took us to this place for social service, and I had a notebook in my hand which had just three odd blank pages, and I was about to discard it because it was hardly of any use to me. That's what we generally do, right? There I met a small kid who requested me if I can give that notebook to him because he needed pages to write his learnings, just three or maybe 2.5 pages left. And I still recall his face and just can't express in words how happy he was to have that notebook, that used notebook which I was about to discard. I don't know why, but in that instant, I felt a kick. A philosophical insight occurred to me. The one thing that could give life meaning for anyone would be to bring happiness to others. That would be a noble endeavor in an ignoble world, indeed. My Toastmaster of the day today needs no introduction. He has already reserved his space in our hearts through his benignity and altruism. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our generous Toastmaster of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, today, who has been serving selflessly to the community of Toastmasters for 6.5 years approx, and who better than him can explain the theme Helpers High. The stage is all yours, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh.
Good afternoon and welcome to yet another meeting of Spearhead Toastmasters in partnership with our parent club, Turning Point Toastmasters. My name is Rupinder. I'll be your Toastmaster of the meeting. When was the last time you did something and you felt absolutely positively happy about it? Not accomplished, not victorious, but plain, simple, happy. I'll tell you one incident. This happened about 2.5 years ago. I'm in a part of a club called Professional Speakers. Now, in those days, we used to have something called the Humorous Speech Contest. And what happened is that I came first in the humorous speech contest. Now, ideally, I should have gone ahead. But then I saw that the person who came second, he had a much better speech than me. And I felt that speech should be heard. So I asked that person, are you appearing in any other contest? Or are you going from any other club? And he said, no, I'm not. I took a decision. I said, okay, you go ahead because I'm going from other clubs and I'll make it to area or division through other means. But you have a good speech. You should definitely go ahead. That person came second in the division contest. While I was happy that he came second, I was kind of disappointed also that he came second because his speech was really good. It should have got him at least to the district, but it did not. But none of that mattered because I felt really good about myself because for the first time in my life, I was not competing. I recognized that I did not have the best speech. I recognized that my speech was not going to make it past the area or maybe division, but this speech had potential. So I stepped aside. I had nothing to gain. In fact, if I had continued, probably I would have been the humorous speech champion, or who knows. But in that moment, I decided to do the right thing. What I experienced is what we commonly know as the helper's high. Good evening, everyone. Today, we are going to learn about helper's high and its significance in our daily lives, and how this concept of helper's high is kind of getting lost in our daily lives. In the hustle and bustle, in this increasingly competitive world, in a world where eats dog, somewhere we are losing the sheer joy of playing. Consider this Toastmasters meeting, for example. A lot of us come here with different aims. Some of us come here to improve our communication skills. Some of us come here to become better than what we were before. Some of us come here to test our leadership skills. Some of us are budding trainers, and we try to use some techniques, to employ some techniques that we would not employ inside a training room. So this becomes a test bed. And then there are some of us who simply turn up just for the sheer joy of meeting. The joy that I used to have when I was younger and I used to play cricket. Everyone wanted to be a Gavaskar or a Ravi Shastri or a Nazaruddin, and that gives you the kind of age that I, an idea of kind of age that I grew up in. But some of us just turn up on a Sunday morning at 5 o'clock just so that we could have the sheer joy of planting a wicket in the ground, just so that we could water a pitch, just so that we could practice, just so that we could be on that ground, on that field. Again, that's a helper's high. Because we are not there for a benefit, we are there sheerly for the love of it. A lot of you are here in this meeting sheerly only for the love of it, for the love of Toastmasters. Speaking of which, how a typical Toastmasters meeting goes. We have 3 sections. The first one of which is the prepared speech section. We have only one prepared speech today. Prepared speeches will be followed by something called table topics, where even the guests get a chance to come up on stage and speak on an impromptu basis for a minute or two. And last but by no means the least, we have a thing called the general evaluation. You see, in a Toastmasters meeting, everyone gets evaluated, even the evaluators. And the person evaluates evaluators and monitors the meeting, who is responsible for the quality of the meeting, is called a general evaluator. Our general evaluator for today is Toastmaster Surbhi Mittal. Now, I would like to invite Surbhi on stage and explain to me or and the audience as to what is her interpretation of helper's high, given what I've just spoken about, and also to introduce our functionaries for meeting. May I request that General Evaluator Surbhi be spotlighted?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Surbhi, well, you're audible, you're visible, you're good to go. Thank you. Toastmaster Surbhi Mittal, everyone. Let's have a round of applause.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. And speaking of helpers high, as soon as I went through the poster of the meeting and saw someone pulling someone up, I could easily interpret that helpers high is just the larger picture of lifting each other. And it reminded me of an incident that happened just 2 months ago when a friend of mine who lives in Canada now called me suddenly, and it was at an uncertain hour at night. I was quite shocked to see his call since we didn't had any word since like 2 years now. And as soon as I picked his call, he was not in a good state of mind. I tried to understand that what is actually happening. And he told me the kind of emotional issues, health issues, and everything that he was facing, and he was clouded by each of them. And the reason that he told, and the major issue that he was facing was that he was not able to focus on his studies, on his job, and was not actually able to manage everything going on his life. He was so much clouded by the emotional and mental traumas that were going on. And at the same time, he was juggling up to grow, to learn, and to move forward with his life. And that time, I tried my best to make him understand with the little wisdom that I have of mine. as I was at the same situation 1 year back. And while helping him, I actually understood how much I have grown in 1 year. And this was not just a help that I gave to him, but to also myself. And this was definitely the helper's high for me, which helped me to lift him as well as myself in my own eyes. And I actually realized how our words can become so powerful. Speaking of which, speaking of helpers, I have my own set of helpers who will be helping me in my general evaluation. So me as a general evaluator will evaluate the meeting as a whole, the preparation, organization, and timeliness of all the role players and the evaluators. So now, speaking of helpers, let me introduce my set of helpers who will be helping me to evaluate you all. So please, Techmaster, please spotlight the tag team members as I speak of them. So first of all, I would like to introduce my mentor and the counter of the meeting, Toastmaster Ragini Rajpal, who will help us to keep our communication clear and free from all the filler words and filler sounds like or etc. Nextly, I would like to introduce the grammarian for the meeting, Toastmaster Nimit, who would help us to keep our communication correct and also notify us for all the beautiful usage of language that we use, as well as the small awkward usages and grammatical errors that we make. And with this, I would also like Toastmaster Nimit to introduce the word of the day. So over to you, Toastmaster Nimit.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. As the grammarian today, like you said, my responsibility is to note down all the good and the bad usages of English grammar, and I have started doing that already. Apart from this, I would like to also introduce you to the word of the day, which I would encourage you all to use throughout the meeting today and even beyond. Try to add in your vocabulary. I have intentionally kept it quite a simple one, which we might have be already using it, but then it's a good word I found and pertaining to the today's theme. So I am sharing that on the chat. It is alleviate. So it means to lighten or reduce someone's load. So its exact meaning basically is to make a suffering or a deficiency or a problem less severe. So as helpers, we should be always trying to do that. How can we use it? A cold compress can alleviate your pain. Toastmasters aim to alleviate one's fear of public speaking and lack of confidence. And every word of the day usage would be encouraged by me and the fellow participants with the thumbs up, either like this or through the Zoom emoticon. With that, back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nimit, for elevating our vocabulary by providing us the word of the day, which is elevate. And now I would like to introduce the timer for the meeting, Toastmaster Harshal. I would speak the timer cards, and I would like you to please show it to the audience as well. So to keep our communication concise, we have the timer, and for our prepared speeches, the time limit would be 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, the green card would be shown. At 6 minutes, the yellow card would be shown. And at 7 minutes, the red card would be shown. For icebreaker speeches, the time limit is 4 to 6 minutes. Now coming to the table topic speeches, the time limit is 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, green card would be shown. At 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes, yellow card would be shown. And at 2 minutes, red card would be shown. We will be having a 30-second grace period on the upper side. Now for the evaluation segment, we have 2 to 3 minutes. Green card will be shown at 2 minutes. Yellow card would be shown at 2.5 minutes, and red card would be shown at 3 minutes. And we have a grace period of 30 seconds at both the sides. And with this, I would like to come towards the end of the meeting to give my general evaluation, and let us give the stage back to Toastmaster of the day, Rupinder Singh, to take forward his theme and the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. I would like to alleviate one fear that everyone has. It is said that helpers high is not rewarding. I think it is the most rewarding thing. And if you look at Toastmasters, we all work for that helpers high. What does it take to achieve a helpers high? A helpers high. How do you prepare for it? Well, here is the thing. Think like a happy person. Don't think like a winner. It's a very counterintuitive step. We are all here to be better versions of ourselves. But in our effort to be better versions of ourselves, we often do it at the cost of other people. We often feel that if we show the other person down, maybe we will look better. The answer is no. It requires you to assume good intent on the part of the other person, even if the other person is doing something that you would not even dream of doing. It involves you to look to do the right thing, the good thing. Preparing for a helper's high, there is no such thing. It's not a habit. It's not an attitude. It's a way of life. Speaking of way of life, one of the ways of life in Toastmasters is the prepared speeches section. And our first prepared speaker for today is Toastmaster Rajesh. Now, before I call Toastmaster Rajesh on the stage, I would like to invite his speech evaluator, Toastmaster Priyanka. May I request that Toastmaster Priyanka be spotlighted?
Hello, Rupinder.
Your voice is a little bit low, Priyanka.
Hello, Rupinder. Am I audible? And
Much better, much better. You're audible, you're visible.
thank you.
Please go ahead.
Toastmaster Rajesh is going to attempt his speech from leadership development pathways. His project's objectives are on making connection through networking. The purpose of this project is to develop and practice a personal strategy for building connections through networking and to share some aspect of his experience networking. Timer, please note the speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Rajesh. Over to you, Modi.
Thank you, Priyanka.
Rajesh, hang on. Okay. I was just thinking of the word of the day, and I was wondering, what if we could alleviate to elevate so that we feel elevated? That precisely is what helpers high is. The moment you help out someone, the moment you know that someone has benefited from your help, the thankfulness, the gratitude that you feel, that is the helper's high. One of the persons who is an epitome, who probably experiences helper's high on a daily basis, is our next speaker, our first speaker, Toastmaster Rajesh. He's the treasurer of Turning Point Toastmasters. And one of the things that I like about him is that he is not afraid to ask a question, no matter how silly it may be sounding to him. He verifies before he trusts. May I request that Toastmaster Rajesh be spotlighted? Rajesh, let's do a very quick audio video check.
Am I audible, Rupinder?
You are audible, you are visible, and you are good to go.
Thank you. June 4, 2005. It was a graduation day for me. And it was a mixed emotions. One way, I was passing from a reputed college in Odisha. I was excited. And on the other end, I was thinking about unemployment because I did not get any employments during my graduation times. It raised so many questions. And I could remember one of my good friends offered me a book. That book changed my life. It will not only change my life, it will also change my perspectives. The book was Never Eat Alone. It was by Keith Ferreja. It talked about the journey, his professional journey, and he used networking and building relationships, not only grow professionally, but personally also. I thought to myself, why should not I try this once? For the next 6 months, I read and tried the same formula, what he has mentioned in the book. And the result was amazing. Instead of looking for jobs or reaching out to job members, jobs are coming to me. I got Tech Mahindra, iFlex, Sonata, and iSoft in February 2006. So this was really excited, and I was immersed. How this changed? The results are really good. Over 6 months, what I did, I tried to give the same advice to my friends who are unemployed at times. Some who are followed the things and they got the good results. I was really excited. So I want to share with what I believe can be incredibly important for others. How do we teach others the principle of networking? Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, a very good afternoon to all. 3 bonds to networking. The simple ones, you guys all knows. We all know those, but it is a common sense. But it sometimes common sense is not a common practice. The first one of the networking is wishbone. I hope you know the wishbones. Whether you are a students, business professionals, or IT engineers, what do you want? And who can help you to achieve this? After my graduations, I know that what next I need to do and how I can going to approach the others. So those things help me to get a good company, land a good job in a reputed companies. Next one is the job one. There is 2 components on the job ones. One is the competency and another one is the humilities. Do you know what you are talking about? Have you done your research? In Kerala, before you start driving the car, you need to pass the driving test. It is everywhere, but in Kerala, it is something different. You have to pass the S test. So that S test is not that much easy if you are not doing enough practice. When I joined the driving school, they taught me how to first concentrate and how to change your perspectives. They first remove my phobia in the driving phobia. And next, when I start practicing, first times I failed, but I learned some things. The second times I passed it, and it was really elevated for me. The second one, humility. You could know everything in the world, but if the people don't like, then you will not succeed. So in the networking, one simple remediation is 5149. What is this 5149? So whenever you are talking about 50-50, so 51 means always ask for your help. Just check what the opposite, the network, those you are trying to talk or those you want to introduce the networking, what they are looking for and how can you help them. In this way, you can succeed. Like this, when in 2020, I lost my job. That times I reached out to my networkings and I saw in the Jerex, which the project manager, I have a very good relationships. I tried to, since I work with them through clients, so I know them what they are looking, and I have given some solutions that they excited and they offer me the roles. So in this way, within 1 month, I got my job back. The third one is the persist. Persist, persist, persist. It means when you are going to ask for help, so always you will listen that once no. No in the sense, in 2020, once again, I'm telling my same story, 2020, when I put my, I upload my resume in Naukri and LinkedIn sites. I saw many companies, they are looking for the jobs. I reached out many things, many persons. Always I saw no. Nobody responded or someone responded with the good luck. But it does not mean that once you need to be breakdowns. You need to think that once how you can do it. Like, see here, I'm a bald persons. But you should know how to sell, come to the bald persons. That is called the persistence. So those things, if you know, you can succeed everywhere. In this today's world, without networking, you cannot do anything. If you saw in the service-based companies, lot of jobs are opening in the IJP portals. Within 1 minute or 2 minutes, all the jobs are filled. Why? Why it is happening? Because they have a good networking. The people who are looking, they have a good reputations or they know how to reach, whom to reach. That is the reasons I'm telling. Networking, networking, networking. There is no other options. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajesh. Thank you for those golden tips, and we would definitely implement it in our lives. So now I request everyone and the timer to please give us 1 minute, and everyone please help us with the feedback for Rajesh's speech in a personal chat. Timer, please notify me after a minute. Thank you, timer. What better place can it be to witness the emotions of a helper's high, to get that vibe, to get that kick, than a Toastmasters forum? In a Toastmasters setup, we encourage people around us to grow, alleviate their anxiety, and elevate their morale. Sorry. With this, I would now like to step up and move our meeting forward with our next section, that is table topics. Table topics is nothing about anxiety or fear, but to overcome that anxiety and fear. And with this, I would now like to hand over the stage to our table topic master, Hina, who would explain the next section, which is going to be fun for our guest and the members. Over to you, Hina.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ragini, and really appreciate the kind words. God has given us two hands, one to help others, and the second to help yourself. To help yourself must be probably your number one priority, and you should, like Rajesh said, pick up from your mistakes, move on, learn, and elevate yourself. And that's what Toastmasters section on table topic is all about, an opportunity for us, a safe space for us to experiment, be ourselves, try some safe mistakes, and learn through the whole process. It is designed to help you essentially pick up 4 skills. 1, listening. 2, thinking. 3, organizing. And 4th, speaking. Today, as your table topic master, I will be asking questions, and I've tried to make it or design it around the theme of helper's high. At the same time, being the person I am, I would surely like to have some fun. So please do expect some pun and fun as we go through these various topics. I would encourage you to use the word of the day, elevate, as you alleviate your fears and elevate your own skills on public speaking. All right, who would like to go first? If you would like to join this table topic session, please use the raise hand feature and we would invite you in. Else, please know I'm watching this over and I will invite you in. All right, so I don't see a raised hand. So who is getting volunteered? Nimit, can I invite you to be my first volunteer?
Sure, why not? Didn't
All
expect
right.
it though.
All right. So like they say on Helpers High, it's all about finding those unconditional acceptance and moments of joy, which brings immense happiness. So my first topic to you is accept that some days you are the pigeon and some days you are the statue. Nimit, accept that some days you are the pigeon and some days you are the statue.
Thank you very much, Hina. Let me just spotlight myself. Yes, indeed. These are 5 fingers. All of them are not equal. Likewise, all the days in your life are not equal. Your heartbeat is never the same because change is the only constant, and every day brings to you a new adventure, a new challenge, a new thing to thrive upon, isn't it? Likewise, I can be a pigeon one day to do my business on a statue, ride high, fly high, and be in my own merriment and do whatever I feel like. But on the other day, I can be as low as possible, being used by the pigeons as a mere statue to get dirty, to get ugly, and no one there to clean myself. As a statue, I can be helpless on a day, but as a pigeon, I can be as free as anyone. So that's the topic, and I must say that if you cannot be helped upon, be the person you can help, be the helper to someone and enjoy the helper's high. So wish you all the very best. No matter you are a pigeon or a statue, it's just about enjoying the day today. No matter if you're a statue today, you'll be pigeon tomorrow. With that, thank you and over to you.
That's a brilliant take, Nimit. Indeed, it's all about accepting who we are and unconditionally enjoying the moments. Thank you for sharing that. I'm looking over through the participants list and I would like to see if Tanishq, would you like to participate?
Yeah, why not? Definitely.
All right. Tanishq, thank you for being a guest to our show. I'm going to give you a topic today, which is about act of kindness. And I'm sure you would have done that too. Tell me a moment when you were helping the student behind you in the examination hall. Tanishq, your act of kindness when you were helping the students behind you in the examination hall.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be here. So definitely one of the very best Toastmasters club in terms of how you have organized it. Thank you very much for inviting me. And yes, so I have been one of those people who have been, unfortunately, the last bencher and being the topper. So I used to be one of those people in my school life who has been this crazy person who's not doing anything in the class, yet doing the best in the exams afterwards. So I had a lot of criticism for that. But yes, I've got the opportunities to be kind to my people who were preceding my roll number and who were succeeding my roll number. I've had many opportunities to pass the copies on, and I can say now that this have been very helpful for people who have passed on my efforts, and I'm not being arrogant about it, but yes, it did gave a sense of proud at that time when we were kids. So a lot of things, kindness, which we say here, kindness depends on what you think and how you organize yourself, how you carry yourself forward. So I was one of those people in my school who would like to help people and not being that typical topper in the class who will not just show you the copy. So I also got so many treats about that. So definitely a very good period when I was in my school. And yes, I won't say it was kindness. It was referred to as cheating back then, and I was scolded many times for that. But yes, it's good to know that a euphemism exists for that, for elevating the people across you. And thank you very much. That would be all from my side.
Thank you, Tanishq. Surely you made a lot of people happy in sharing best practices. There is no copy there. All right. Who would like to join in the fun and or would want to get volunteered? Okay, I don't see a raised hand. So Toastmaster Harshil, can I volunteer you in?
Sure, Hina. It's just that I need to manage the timer as well. So
I'll manage the time. Just give me just add me to the spotlight because I'll be changing my background.
All right. So while the transitions are happening on the technology, so Harshil, you would agree that good intentions are always the right way to happiness and the helpers high. So the golden quote here for you is silence is golden, but duct tape is silver. Silence is golden, but duct tape is silver.
Okay. Quite an interesting topic. So I'll say silence is the best means when you have to, sometimes listen to the people who are just want to vent out their frustration. There are a lot of times when people are not asking for your unsolicited advice, or rather any sort of advice altogether. They just want you to be the person who hear them passionately and patiently to elevate their pain, their sufferings, etc. But sometimes you do need a duct tape as well to shut them up, and that's a golden thing, because they will keep on ranting about the same thing again and again without having an understanding whom they are bitching about, whom they are talking about, and generally that is there in offices, and each and every offices, being working professional, everyone just rant about or bitch about their colleagues and the back, or their bosses for sure. Sorry, Rupinder, no offense to you if you are a boss to someone. And yeah, so sometimes you just need to be mute, keep on, just let the other person vent out whatever they want to say. But sometimes you need to just shut them up by putting the duct tape on their mouth. And also, to alleviate a lot of pain, you just need to be a good listener. Sometimes you just need to give them the assurance, yeah, you are there with them to understand. You understand their pain, you can relate with them. Also, uh, you need to give sometimes a kick at the back as well, to just let them not to say anything more, just concentrate on their work rather than keep on complaining about things which are happening in life. It is all part and parcel of their life. So just be compassionate about their work, be concentrate on the people around and all the positives which are happening in their life, instead of just complaining about it. So that's it from my side. Thank you. Back to you, Hina.
Thank you, Harshal. That was definitely a lot of elevators, help us high elevated, including the kick on the back. All right. I don't see anyone raising hands, so I'm going to invite Pallavi. Pallavi, can I invite you to a table topics?
Yeah, sure.
Right. Let me give you a fun one. We all love driving, and accidentally, Pallavi, you gave your car to a thief thinking he is a valet. How was the help?
Okay. Mm, yeah, it happened once. Once I just started driving, and I parked my car in a parking lot, and unfortunately one car being parked just behind my car, and I was not able to get my car out of that parking lot. And I asked for a help, thinking that he is the one who will help me and the valet there. But unfortunately he ran with my car, and that's something happened. That's it. Thank you.
Oh my God, you surely helped this person, and I'm sure they made most of the car and you elevated their experience. All right, sorry for the vacuum cleaner background and the noise. Who would like to go next? Okay, yay, Rupinder. Let me find a tricky one. All right, Rupinder, the topic for you. A clear conscience is usually the sign of a bad memory. A clear conscience is usually the sign of a bad memory.
Do you know the happiest creature on this planet? The answer can surprise you. The happiest creature on this planet is a goldfish. Do you know why? Because a goldfish has a memory of 8 seconds. 8 seconds, that's it. Which means that if we were to give a table topic to the goldfish would not remember the table topic by the time the green card would go up. I suppose it's for a good reason. Madam Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and very distinguished guests. A life is nothing but a story, and a story is nothing but a collection of experiences. Some good, some not so good, and some plain embarrassing. Things you want to forget about. For example, the time when in class 3, I thought it would be a very good idea to tag along with my teacher holding the end of her sari. And I did that, and I maintained a very good distance. The one mistake that I did not do, that I made is one of the most common mistakes in Toastmasters, and that is not maintaining eye contact with the people I should be making eye contact. I started making eye contact with my classmates. And then I did not see the object, I mean my teacher in front of me, because she had turned around and I banged into her. After that, she banged me horribly and sent a letter to my parents, who gave me that entire lecture about we did not bring you up this way. That's a memory I would like to erase. And perhaps my conscience will be clean after that. But then I also wish I was a goldfish. 8 seconds memory. What do you think, Topics Master?
Clearly, thank you for that. I seriously wish we all were goldfish, and those were some memories I would want to not have in my consciences. All right. Thank you for that, Toastmaster Rupinder. Who would like to go next? Come on, folks. Let's volunteer. I have an easy topic this time. I promise. Yay, Surbi. Thank you. All right. Surbi, the topic for you. Everyone seems normal until you get to know them. Everyone seems normal until you get to know them, Surbi.
Well, all of us have that craziness inside us. We all have some things that we are only open towards our inner circle. And I think that is also the sensible thing to do. So since when I started my college, there is this thing that happens with me every time. I always get friends with people whom I really don't like at the start. So initially, when I started my college and I got some roommates, I was quite not liking one or two of them because they were quite very conscious about the small nitty-gritty things that were not very comfortable in the hostel, because of course we are not expecting that to be a 5-star restaurant that we get to serve and everything will be according to our expectations. So there was this friend of mine whose name is Rashmi, and she used to I used to feel a bit she used to be a bit nasty, and I used to feel that she is I would never be a good friends with her. And since I didn't know her, I only used to feel a certain way about her. But when we started spending time together and we started being together, I actually acknowledged the parts of her that were really like me. She used to like to go to clubs. She had actually had some experiences in her life that were very much resonating to what I had. So I actually discovered a side of her which was pretty good, which was very helping, which was having that kick by helping someone's being the helper's high. And it was honestly something that I would love to be. She was actually a kind of person I would love to be a friends with. So and also so I definitely believe in this fact that everyone seems to be normal, either normal or maybe nasty till we don't know them. But once we get to know them, we actually discover this side which can maybe resonate with us or maybe not. But it only can happen if we try and let and give other person the chance. There are a lot of times we do not give chances to people and we already start forming some distance from them. And I guess this is something that makes us feel apart from the crowd, and we ourselves feel lonely even in the crowd. So we need to make sure that we take the first step, even if someone is not taking, and then maybe decide if we want to be friends with them or not. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Survi, for that. And I hope your friend is listening to all the good thing you have to tell about your wonderful friend. All right. I'm at time. So thank you all. This was fun being your Toastmaster of the day. And like the theme talks about, that it's all about the helper's high. I hope this opportunity to help yourself was fun as you elevated yourself. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
You'll find it very difficult to believe, but I play table tennis. Okay, now you will of course say that with a 120-kilo body, how do you manage? Well, for one, the body was not always 120 kilos, but it was always above 100 kilos. So, how do I manage? I was in an intra-organization table tennis match. People from my organization were having tennis matches amongst themselves, and I was practicing. Now, in comes a person. He is slated to be the champ. He's played table tennis at the Asia Cup level or the India at the national level somewhere. I thought, why would this person play against me? But he started knocking and we went back and forth. In the middle of the knocking, he stopped, took the ball in his hand, and he said to me, "You got to learn to play to your strengths." I did not understand what he meant by that. And he said that your problem is going back because of your weight. What about standing at the back in the first place? That way, even if the return is short, you can always come forward, which is easier than going back. And suddenly, everything made sense to me. I took a step back and I was a different player altogether. Because now, whether you served fast or whether you served slow, it did not matter. Whether the return was long, whether the return was short, it did not matter. If it was short, I would always go forward. And if it was long, I did not have to move. I just had to play my shot. But guess what? I defeated that guy in our league match. And I went up to him and I said, "I'm sorry that you lost. And you gave me the advice that caused your loss." And he said, "I give advices to everyone." You see, I have reached a level, I have played for my state, my country. And after that, you need a different kind of a high. It could be an achievement at an international level. But I have found that when you help people become a better version of themselves, there is no bigger reward than that. Speaking of helping people become better versions of themselves, first, I will launch the poll for the best table topic speaker. And after that, I would request that Toastmaster Surbi be spotlighted so that she can take forward the general evaluation section. May I request the polls for the best table topic speaker be launched, please? Please take your time to vote for the best table topic speaker. And with that, I give it to Toastmaster Surbi.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, for bringing us to picture a very beautiful theme, Helpers High. And with this, I would like to invite my first helper who would be helping Toastmaster Harshil to elevate and redeem his further, Toastmaster Rajesh to elevate and redeem his further speeches. So over to you, Toastmaster Priyanka, for evaluating Toastmaster Rajesh's speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So, my dear Toastmasters.
Sorry, Priyanka, your mic's volume is very low.
Not audible now.
Hello everyone, am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible, but there was some disturbance. And
Okay. I hope okay. So is it, am I clear well enough? My words are clear?
yes, you can go forward.
Okay, thank you. Timer, please start the timing now. So, my dear Toastmasters, now we have in the room, we have a networking group. I would say this was the need of the hour for me because I really struggle while making connections with people. Even if I'm an extrovert, I still struggle how to make a proper connections where they actually are fruitful. Our speaker today, Rajesh, helped us very simply, giving very simple suggestions how to make them work. Right from the starting, which I loved about Rajesh's speech, is the purpose of the speech. He didn't leave for a single instance his purpose. If I would say the purpose is networking, how to do networking, on all instances, he was very clear. Even in the starting, he had a clarity about the purpose of the speech. We had the total reason. He's talking about networking, how to do networking later on, till the conclusion he was with the purpose. The second thing which I loved about Raj's speech is the comfort, his gain with the audience. If I recollect the first speech which he had given in SPTM and Turning Point Toastmasters, and now if I relate, I would say Rajesh, you have done a lot of improvement. The comfort, the ease you have shown today in doing a speech is remarkable. Maybe that is because you have used a personal story that has also helped you in bringing your comfort. Rajesh, please keep it on the way you have. Well, I have few suggestions for this speech, how to make it better. If we talk about the structure of the speech, the transitions, but somewhere I lost the transitions. For example, when we were giving suggestions like a wishbone or the jawbone, you were even after each point you were adding up a story. How about you try to sandwich that suggestion, the wishbone suggestion, in the story itself, or at the last to share that line. So there I would suggest you to work on this transitions smoothly, so that you won't feel that it's not a part of the story, it's not part of the speech. Rather than try to inculcate in each and every story throughout the speech. I think we can come with the practice. Just if you practice a speech very well in front of the mirror, it will help you in learning and working with the transitions. The second suggestion which I would like to give is the voice modulation, Rajesh. When you said I lost my job, I did not have my job during my graduation. If you bring such sadness, we also want to feel that sadness, Rajesh. How about we try to work on our voice modulation? In a nutshell, we have a purpose of the speech. We have that comfort. We just need to work on the transitions in our speech and a little bit of voice modulation. But next time, Rajesh, I would like to challenge you to give the speech by standing. It will elevate you with the suggestion which I have given you today. It will elevate you in transitions and your voice modulation a lot. Thank you very much. Over to you, Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka, for evaluating Toastmaster Rajesh in detail and elaborating all the nitty-gritty details that were needed. And now I would like to move forward with the table topics evaluation first. Starting with Toastmaster Nimit. And Toastmaster Nimit connected with the topic in the first go I liked the way you started by giving the examples of the 5 fingers and then also the heartbeat. And you had an element of pauses that I really liked so that the audience could grab what you are exactly trying to say. And in the end, you provided a strong conclusion as well. However, I would like you to smile a bit more so that audience can connect with you and you can form a connection so that your stage presence become more impactful. Now coming to the second speaker, Toastmaster Tanishq, you started with a smile, which was a great thing. And as I have not seen you speaking before, I actually could see the stage presence that you had, and you were quite confident while speaking, which is a great thing. However, a small suggestion that I would like to give you is that you should always provide a conclusion that becomes a takeaway for the audience. So that was missing, and you can definitely work on that. Coming to our next speaker, Toastmaster Harshil. So Toastmaster Harshil, you added an element of fun when you asked Toastmaster Rupinder that if he is a boss and if he did get offended or not. And I also liked the way you utilized your time well, which I gave you a suggestion in your previous table topic speech. And you showcased us both the sides of the topic. So I quite liked it a lot. However, I would like to give you a suggestion, as now you have the content with you. I would like you to work on the other things like hand gestures and voice modulations to take your speeches to next level. Coming to the fourth speaker, Toastmaster Pallavi. So Toastmaster Pallavi, first of all, I would like to congratulate you to take the courage to speak on a topic which you were not able to form in your head, as I could figure it out while seeing you. So it is honestly the way table topics are made for you to actually overcome that fear and speak on it. However, I would like you to utilize your time more and speak on it, as we being audiences want you to listen, want you to speak more, and we are giving that time to listen to you. So even if you are not able to form your sentences or anything, you can speak on anything that you want, which resonates, maybe resonates with the topic, or even you can take a horizontal approach and speak about something else that relates to it. Now coming to my fifth speaker, Toastmaster Rupinder. You always have some mind-boggling facts to start with, and you start with that goldfish fact, and you also added that element of fun while saying that if we give a table topic to a goldfish, then that fish might even forget it at the start. And you also related it with your personal story. You had the body language in terms of when you acted, how you were looking at your classmates. So it was a package in it. However, as a challenge, now I have been hearing you since a while now. So I am well acquainted with the narration that you usually have. So just as a challenge, I would like to give you is that you can maybe surprise us in your further speeches by adding some more rhetorical devices like giggling, like maybe some hand gestures, or something different in your narration, not the usual one which I have been listening to you. So, and I have already got my evaluation from Toastmaster Rupinder. With this, I would like to end the table topic evaluation and move towards the tag team evaluation, tag team reports. So firstly, I would like to call the grammarian for the meeting, Toastmaster Nimit, to present his report and highlight all the good and bad usages of grammar that we had. Over to you, Toastmaster Nimit.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator, and I hope you and everyone can see my screen. As mentioned, the word of the day is alleviate, and I'm quite happy to see that it was used extensively, and I hope that you continue to use it in your regular day-to-day life as well. As I can see, the presiding officer Ragini used it once till now, Rupinder thrice, Rajesh one, Surbhi twice. In fact, I think it is 3 now, the count. The Hina used it 4 times, Harshil, the table topic speaker, used it twice, and the evaluator Priyanka used it twice. As far as the improper usages are concerned, they were not many, but I would like to share those. The phrase didn't had could be didn't have is just a subject verb agreement. With didn't, with past, you use a plural, you use have instead of had. And then nextly should be replaced by next, elevating our vocabulary. I think it is incorrect usage because it's not used in the right context. Those who are followed should be those who followed. You need to be break down. You need to break down. Sense of proud should be sense of pride, because pride is the noun here. But having said that, there were quite a few good usages as well. The Toastmaster today was very good on his day. So hustle and bustle. Hustle and bustle, you mean it means that the daily usage and the busyness. Better version of oneself. Epitome, alleviate, to elevate. I like that phrase. General evaluator used the word kick. The speech evaluator used the phrases like need of the hour and in a nutshell. The speakers today, Rajesh, the prepared speaker, used mixed emotions. Common sense is not common. Tanishq used euphemism, which is an expression substituted for one considered to be too harsh or blunt. Harshal used ranting. Rupinder, as the TT speaker, used collection of experiences and tag along. Surbhi, as the general evaluator, used nitty gritty, resonating, horizontal approach, and mind boggling. With that, I hand it over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nimit, for your report. And now I would like to invite Toastmaster Ragini to present her counter report. So can I have you on stage, please, Toastmaster Ragini?
Yes, thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I would like to share my screen quickly. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, so Toastmaster of the day, Rupinder. So I've just marked as flawless speech who did not or used very minor R's and ums, which includes Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, Table Topic Master Hina Verma, Table Topic Speaker Tanishq Gupta, and Table Topic Speaker Harshal Agarwal. So kudos to all of you. Rest we have Surpi using minor filler sounds like R's. Nimit again using 3 R's in his speech, and 4 while delivering his table topic speech. Pallavi using 4 R's and 2 ums sounds. Surbi as a table topic speaker using maybe quite a few times and 5 R's. Then we have Rupinder using but or and in his table topic speech. And then we have Priyanka as an evaluator using so 6 times in her evaluation. And lastly, Harshal as Sanjana Dams using 3 R's and ums. And this ends my report. Quickly, 2 golden tips from my end. So 1, don't be too ambitious to eradicate all ums and ahs from your speech. Instead, alleviate to come to a level of 2 per minute only, because that looks natural and it does not distract your audience. Number 2, get comfortable with your silence. We think that if we take a pause, the people around us would call us dumb or judge us with short of words. But my question, what makes you think that people will call you smart if you use nothing, right? Isn't pause much better? So use pauses and get comfortable with your silence. That is it from my end, and I would now hand over the stage back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ragini, for providing us tips and tricks to alleviate our communication. Now I would like to invite Toastmaster Harshal for the timer report. Over to you, Toastmaster Harshal.
Thanks, General Evaluator. I'll just quickly share my screen. So let me just, I have been slightly liberal in terms of noting down the time, and I might have I've tried to elevate the sense of time or the fear of time for a lot of speakers and the evaluators over here. So yeah, people who have exceeded their time limits, basically Rupinder, Sobhi, during the initial introduction, that has been mentioned that has been highlighted in red. And other than that, mostly everyone has stuck to their uh, time limits, given the 30 seconds extra additional time or the leeway time which is provided. So everyone has done a good job sticking to their time limits and delivering their content. That's it from my side. We can still sharpen it a little bit, but it's good to go for now. Back to you, General Evaluator.
I think the general evaluator is not in the meeting. Can we very quickly have polls for the best auxiliary role player? Can we have the polls for the best auxiliary role players, please? Thank you. Let's take 30 seconds to vote for the best auxiliary role players. I will now, so now is the time to comment on the meeting, but since our general evaluator is not here, I will request our...
She is joining back now. Just give it a moment.
Okay. Until that time, can anyone give me a moment of helpers high that they experienced? Anyone? Or Surbi, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. There is something wrong with my camera. So
That's
I would
okay.
like to
Take it away. You just have to give the your feedback on the meeting. That's
yes.
it. Yeah.
So I would like to start with the sergeant at arms, and I would go systematically. So Toastmaster Harshal, you took this responsibility for the first time, and you very clearly laid all the general rules and the club mission statement. However, you could have definitely introduced the presiding officer with a bit of enthusiasm, because the meeting starts with you, and you are the one who has to set the spirit and the energy for the meet. However, it is your first time, so you can definitely alleviate it in your further speeches. Now coming to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Ragini, as usual, starting and introducing the meeting with a very encouraging tone, and also introducing the theme with her own personal stories, which is something that I would like to take as a takeaway. Nextly, coming to the well, I have to actually reduce the usage of this word nextly. So coming to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rupinder, taking us through the journey of his own helper's high by relating it to his personal stories, as well as telling us the actual purpose and the meaning of helper's high. You actually laid down a topic which was not much acquainted to me, and I guess to much of the audience's here. So it was quite a great takeaway. And coming to the responsibilities of a Toastmaster of the day, you had an AV check before handing it over to the speakers. You introduced the speaker in an elaborated way by basically relating it with the theme as well. And all in all, you you also took us through that 1 minute of silence, and everything was done as per the expectations. Now coming to the table topic master, Toastmaster Hina, I always like the way you set an encouraging tone while having any role at your hand. I love the way you started introducing the purpose of table topics by relating it with the theme in a very innovative way. I like the way you actually laid down the table topics by giving a premise of those table topics, and the way you gave those impromptu comments to encourage all the speakers, and all your table topics were very innovative, and I honestly loved them a lot. Now coming to my tag team players. So I would like to start with the Grammarian. So Toastmaster Nimit, you stick to the basics. You highlight the people who use the word of the day. You gave us the awkward as well as the beautiful usage of grammar. So your role was completed as per the expectations. Coming to the counter, Toastmaster Ragini, I like the way you presented the report by telling us the flawless speakers first and then highlighting the number of R's and ums and filler words that we used. Loved your tips and tricks that we can actually use. And also you provide us the conviction by stating those tips. Now coming to the timer, Toastmaster Harshal, I'm really sorry I had some network glitch and I could not actually detail out the evaluation for your report, but I definitely see the video and let you know. And coming to the evaluator, the only evaluator that we had today, because there was only one speech. So Toastmaster Priyanka, you elaborated all the details and you mentioned everything that the speaker could have improved, and you provided him the suggestion on the content, transition, voice modulation, and the body posture that is important. However, the one suggestion that I would like to give Toastmaster Rajesh is that he can also work on the clarity of his speech, so that in the next speeches we can easily understand and frame the picture that he is trying to portray us. Now, coming to the overall evaluation of the meeting as a whole started on time, and it had all the elements that it should. There were no disturbances in the chat box. However, I would like all of us to have more to try to have more guests in the meeting coming forward, so that our meetings become more interactive. We can showcase our talent that Spearhead and Turning Point Toastmasters brings to much more guests, and invite them to our meetings. And as it was the first joint meeting, so it went great, and we hope to end it at time as well. And for that, I have to hand over the stage back to the Toastmaster of the day. So concluding my evaluation and handing the stage back to Toastmaster of the day, Rupinder Singh.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. And as always, I like to close with a story. And this story involves a boy on a beach where several starfish have washed ashore. And if left, they'll die an agonizing death. So what this boy is doing is he's picking up a starfish and throwing it back into the ocean. A man walks by and he looks at the kid and he says, "Kid, what do you think you're doing?" And he says, "I'm saving the starfish." So the man goes that, "Look, you will not be able to save them all." Now, the kid could have got demotivated and walked away. Instead, he bent down, picked up another starfish, threw it into the ocean, and said, "Well, I saved that one." Picked it up, picked up another, threw it into the ocean, and that one. And seeing this, the man threw aside his walking stick, picked up a starfish, and threw it back into the ocean. Helper's high is also contagious. So, fellow Toastmasters, Mr. Presiding Officer, and very valued guests, let us save the starfish that we can. Let us go for that helper's high. It was an honor being your Toastmaster of the meeting. I hope this was a fruitful session for you. With that, I will give it back to our presiding officer, who is now Toastmaster Nimit Mittal. Thank you.
Can we have a huge round of applause for the Toastmaster of the day for bringing that beautiful theme in front of us on this very special occasion of the joint meeting between the two sister clubs, TPTM and SPTM. Yes, he thoroughly deserves it. And yes, what a way he ended, because that clearly tells us the need of helping others and how we can do that. We can do that by first helping ourselves, isn't it? we should be wearing a mask first, and then we should help the other person. The same applies when you are in a flight. You wear the oxygen mask first, and then you help the others. And you can help yourself by implementing and incorporating the feedback you got today, isn't it? So let us have a huge round of applause for the general evaluator and for all the role players in today's meeting. And I would request you all to please come on video on mode if not inconvenient, and so that we can pause for a moment, and so that we can capture it, and so that it becomes eternal. We can, yes, definitely share it with you all later that yes, we were there in the special meet. I request Hina, Priyanka, Surbi to also come on video, and yes, we can use the Zoom emoticons. I am using a heart. How about you? Can you all use a heart? There's a reaction button on the bottom. Yes, all the hearts are coming up. And when we have maximum hearts, Rupinder, can you please take a picture? Harshil, Priyanka, Hina.
We're going to do it on 3, 2, and 1. And after this, Nimit, we have to launch the polls for the best role player. When I say 3, 2, 1, everyone go ahead with their emoticon. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I got 5 hearts. That should be. We'll live with that today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And without further ado, let us quickly have the polls for the best role player. I'm launching it now. So please vote among the 3 Toastmasters of the day, Rupinder, General Evaluator Surbi, and the Topics Master Hina. And while you do that, I'll request our guest of the day, Tanish Gupta, to please come up and share his opinion on today's meeting and whether he got high with the team today and his helpers high. And how can you help us with your feedback?
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to share my view of the meeting. And I think that's one of the best meetings I have been through. And for me, the highlight of the day were the table topics. And that was so much good. I was actually going to message you, Hina, after this. That's very interesting topics. They actually challenged the audience as well. And Rupinder ji, the way you said the stories, the way you narrated it, actually kept the interest going on. Thank you very much for inviting me, guys. And that would be my view on this. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Tanish, and looking forward to associate more with you in Toastmasters and beyond. Okay, and if I'm not missing out on anyone, I would like to make a couple of quick announcements, and will then hand it back to Rupinder to share the results of today's winners. First of all, we have at TPTM, we have the evaluation contest on 11th of November, that is the coming Thursday at 7 p.m. So all the members of TPTM who are a paid member can nominate themselves to the contest chair. And then we have the table topics contest coming up for Spearhead Toastmasters as well, and that would be on 28th November. So you enjoyed the table topics today. I'm sure you are gonna love the table topics at a contest, isn't it? So please enroll for that as well. With that, we can also help our clubs for the next week, and in fact the next month as well, by nominating yourself for the meeting roles. If you like today, definitely you're gonna love the next meeting. So why don't you volunteer for the next meeting and the next meeting? All the roles are open. I request you to please nominate. You can come on and nominate to me or to Hina. She's available here. Anyone? Okay. Anyone interested to take the Toastmaster of the Day role? The General Evaluator and the Topics Master? Fine, not a problem. We'll open the nominations on the WhatsApp group as well. With that, I'll hand it over to you, Rupinder, to share the results.
Can I share screen? I don't know if I can share the screen. Can you enable screen sharing? Screen
Try now.
sharing enabled.
You don't have to. Can you just try it now? No.
Yes, I can. Thank you. So I'll very quickly run you through the results because I have another meeting to get to. So here we go. The third best table topic speaker today was Nimit Mittal. Many congratulations, Nimit. The second best table topic speaker was a guest, Tanishk. Many congratulations and thanks for coming. And the best table topic speaker today was our general evaluator, Toastmaster Surbhi. Great job, Surbhi, with that topic. The best speech evaluator, this was a difficult one, but many congratulations, Priyanka. The best auxiliary role player, well, two reasons why I really applaud the best auxiliary role player today. One, it goes to a role that does not get this award often and makes me very happy when this happens. And two, she actually added to the role of being an R counter. So many congratulations, Ragini Rajpal. That was one of the better R counter performances that I've seen. The best role player, once again, for her very thoughtful table topics, Toastmaster Hina Verma. And the most difficult one was choosing the best speaker, who happened to be just the one, Rajesh. Many congratulations. I will send the certificates by email. You should be getting them in your inboxes. And with that, it's me stopping the sharing of the screen, handing it back to the presiding officer. Would ask the presiding officer to stop the recording if it is done.